This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the CoverGirl Wolverine Driver figure from Super 7 as part of their ReAction Plus line, aka the new G.I. Joe O-Ring line. This version of her is actually based on her appearance in the first miniseries where she had the long blonde hair and a totally different color outfit.
You're my kind of wolf.
On the back of the box, we get a file card, and it's fully in English. CoverGirl, Wolverine Driver. File name, Krieger, Courtney A. SN number. Primary military specialty, Armorer. Secondary military specialty, AFV Mechanics. Birthplace, Peoria, Illinois. Grade E4 Specialist. CoverGirl was a high fashion model in Chicago and New York prior to enlistment. Grew disillusioned with modeling and enlisted to, quote, put new direction in her life. Attended armorer school at Fort Knox and related tech schools. Proficient in diesel mechanics, gas turbine technology. Qualified expert in Law rockets, Dragon AT missile, M16 and M1911A auto pistol. CoverGirl finds that she must work against her beauty to prove herself. She is compelled to learn and master decidedly unfeminine disciplines. Her self-assurance and stunning good looks reduce most men to stuttering fools. You know, I actually should probably take a look at her original file card and see if this is basically the same thing. I'm pretty sure it is, because on the ReAction figures, I think they use a lot of the original information too. You know, the 5-point articulation ones. As part of this wave, we have the comics version of Snake Eyes, CoverGirl obviously, Cobra Commander, and the Cobra Bat comic version. As far as I can tell, the Cobra Commander is actually pretty close to being just like his original, but since I haven't opened it, I don't know yet. But I think there's a good chance that my next one of these will be the Cobra Commander figure. Or it'll be the Crimson Twins. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up. Came pretty nicely off the card. Looks like they decided to give us a cartoon-esque version of her rifle for this figure, instead of just something more realistic. Figure herself, obviously. This is the first time I'm trying out one of the O-Ring figures from Super 7. So her neck is just a twist neck. There's no ball joint on it, or no pseudo twist ball joint thing like a lot of the later Joes had. Honestly, I've been kind of wondering if her body is just based on the original version and just colored different. But her head sculpt looks pretty good. I mean, it's a O-Ring figure, so there's not a ton of detail in the face, but she does match up with the cartoon pretty well. We have a hinge going up. We can spin. We do have the bicep cut, which started, I want to say, in the second wave of O-Ring figures. Single hinge at the elbow, which gives us the 90-degree cut here. The O-Ring, which allows us to spin her waist all around, which also kind of allows us to move the hips down, which again, I think I've mentioned in a previous one. I was pretty impressed when I really thought about it, how they managed to kind of recreate the way the hips and everything move on the classified figures compared to the O-Rings. Obviously, there's no wrist articulation, and just playing with the hand here, it is a firm plastic, so they may even have recreated the ability for the thumbs to break off. She can kick up so far, and there's really no real kickback on these old figures, just a tad, but not much. We have a single joint at the knee. Doom, 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 doom. Detailing wise, again, she's basically wearing a jacket over a shirt. We got a little control panel here that we might remember that Classified actually gave us the removable version. Her gun fits in her hand as well as any G.I. Joe O-ring figure did, meaning mostly okay, but will probably pop out if you move it wrong. Also to note, putting her gun in her hand once has already caused paint on her hand to chip off, which I realize this was also kind of a problem you had with the G.I. Joe figures back in the 80s, but I don't recall it happening that easily. I'm not sure, but the hole in the back does appear like it might be a bit bigger. And I don't have a backpack to try on her. Unfortunately, I didn't think about that. There is also no stand to go with her. Now, for comparison, of course, we do have our original version of CoverGirl from the 80s. I had honestly been kind of wondering if they were just going to recreate the original body and just color it differently. With how they've kind of gotten her card information, it also makes me wonder, was this one of those things where she like cut and dyed her hair just to try to not be quite as, quote, pretty? Oh, shit. Okay. So, as we compare the two together, though, yeah, boots are different. They actually do give her kind of a heel or a wedge in her boot in the new Super 7 one. Height-wise, looks like their shoulders are roughly the same height. I'm kind of do the back. Let's see if we can do a back to back here. Yeah, I'd say they're roughly the same height. Belts are different. Jacket is different. Apparently, she's wearing a push-up bra in the original figure and a sports bra in the current one because there is a reduction in breast size, which I'm kind of sad to say that I'm not surprised since, you know, my pet peeve on the female action figures have been the whole reducing breast size because, you know, modern day, apparently we don't like women with large boobs. As far as on the hip goes, she does have a controller. The design is different in the new one. She's also got a pouch there. They did paint in the straps on the Super 7 version. But overall, she's, for all intents and purposes, although different styles, she's pretty much wearing the same outfit. I think this is a nice update to this figure, minus the fact that they're afraid of breasts, even at Super 7. Actually, the new CoverGirl practically has a uniboob going on, especially compared to the original. And of course, the size of the head is very different too. Alright, so the overall on this. So while her outfit is similarly designed to the original, it is definitely different, and they did a breast reduction. Her head itself is smaller, or I should say the face is smaller, but the hair makes up for it, I guess. Actually, and one other thing to note here. They also did not actually give her the more feminine hip shape that the original O-ring Joes gave. So while I do like the look of this new CoverGirl figure, and I'm glad they gave us a version based on the first cartoon, which coincidentally, apparently the retro card back Joes are going to have this version of CoverGirl also. Hopefully they do a better job of going for the female form, but kind of ultimately this version of CoverGirl, who is supposed to be a model, kind of looks like a dude overall. Just you know, I hate to say it like that, but yeah. She basically looks like a dude, body shape wise. It's kind of disappointing, and I was really excited about this figure. I ordered her originally when they first announced it without sight unseen because I like CoverGirl. I thought she was a fun character in the animated series.
Figure shipwreck! You would be in the sleaziest hole in Hollywood!
So this is, like I said, a little bit disappointing. This is the sort of thing, though, that may affect the figures I buy from this line going forward. Because if they do this kind of treatment on all the female figures that they do, I'm just not going to bother. I don't get a lot of the O-ring figures anyway anymore. I mean, I do pick up ones I missed or don't have in my collection here and there. Although in a lot of cases, I've been picking up the ones that relate for reviews of the new classified stuff, like with the Nemesis Immortal. And I had originally thought that these Super 7 ones would most likely get displayed along with the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover figures. So it's not going to be a great loss if I don't pick them up. I did order the entire first wave eventually. CoverGirl I bought instantly when she was available. The other ones I bought after the fact. But let me know what you think in the comments below on this updated, less feminine version of CoverGirl based on the animated series, which, by the way, we know what 80s animation looked like. Women did have exaggerated female forms in those old cartoons. They didn't exactly capture that either. It is kind of weird that the head looks smaller to me than the original versions do. And to kind of go along with what I was saying about the head sculpts being somewhat different, or the head not only being a little bit smaller, it's also a lot more plain. I guess they're going for more of the cartoony look with that. But like, if you look at CoverGirl's face, the original version, you can actually see some of the lines around the eyes. I think what it referred to it as the double eyelid sort of thing, where she is just plain looking like a deer in headlights. Also from this angle, you can also really tell the difference in the breast design and the body. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. If you did enjoy this review, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to torture yourself, you can hit the notification button and see more reviews. I will probably be doing the Retro Plus reviews once a week until I get through them. Currently, I have the Snake Eyes, the Cobra Commander, and the Crimson Twins in their suits. Actually, to be perfectly honest, it was the Crimson Twins in their suits that made me decide to order the other figures outside of CoverGirl. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.